While growing up, people don't realize how certain interactions, events, and individuals will affect and impact their lives. We focus on the potential negatives and forget or don't realize at the time that there are many positive ones going on right in front of us. Many times it takes you into adulthood until you reflect a little bit and realize what positive impacts certain people really had in your life. This is true of me and my former basketball coach, now lifelong friend, Mark Rydza, whom I have the honor of introducing into this fine and exclusive club. As coaches, we know that we work with athletes who have pretty poor home lives and who have parents who are not exactly positive role models. It is our job as coaches to be that parental figure that instills important core values such as hard work, commitment, integrity, respect, responsibility, perseverance, and discipline. This is exactly what Riz has done, not only for me, but for hundreds, if not thousands, of young men around the country. I would not be the man I am today without his influence, both professionally and personally. This is what true coaching is all about. It isn't about the wins, it isn't about the championships. It's about the lifelong lessons we teach and can only hope will be retained by our athletes. Throughout his tenure at Rydza, Mark coached an incredible 26 years of varsity boys basketball, 26 years of varsity golf, and was right here presenting at these banquets as Rydza's athletic director for 8 years. So with that being said, it was my pleasure having him as a basketball coach, my pleasure to have him as my mentor to my coaching career in both golf and basketball, my pleasure to have him as a role model in life, and it's now my pleasure to introduce Mark Rydza into the Niagara Orleans League Foundation.
Thank you very much, Rob, for the kind words. It's greatly appreciated. I want to take 2 minutes here to, before I get on to my speech, which my friends are telling me is going to be too long, to talk about something that happened yesterday in the sports world, and that's Melanie Green. Does everybody know Melanie Green? For those of you that don't, Melanie went to Medina High School, coached boys. Did you coach your team? Okay, but she went to Medina High School, kicked everybody's butt when she was playing, did very well, went to, got a scholarship to play at University of South Florida, turned professional, and she, the Ladies Professional Golf Association, the league below that, the tour below that is called the, oh God, it slipped my mind. Epson Tour, thank you. I was thinking Xerox for some reason. The Epson Tour, which is the same as like the Korn Ferry Tour is for the men. And she won her tournament yesterday. She won their tournament on tour. And she's now 4th in the points. And if she finishes top 15, she'll be in the LPGA Tour next year. I think for the Niagara Orleans League, that's fantastic. Okay, now on to my speech. And besides what Rob mentioned, I know this is an athletic event, but I was a math teacher, and I want to start out with a little math thing that it just involves a ratio of 2 out of 3. And Rob, and I think we all know what 2 out of 3 is. And Rob told me that 2 out of 3 people here in this event tonight are good looking. And okay, so now you're probably wondering, what about the 1 out of 3? Well, if you take a glance to the person on your right and then a glance at the person on your left, and they're both good looking, well, no, I'm only kidding. It was just a joke. Don't anybody get upset and bent out of shape. All of you here are good looking, and all of you here are great people. And the reason you're great people is because you work with kids. And you take your valuable time and you put all kinds of time and effort into working with kids. And all of you should be proud of dedicating your lives and yourself and cultivating the lives of the kids that you deal with. And all of you should be proud of that. We all played sports. We all had coaches. And I think all of us remember our coaches to this day. And the same thing is going to happen with the kids you coach. They're going to remember you. And they'll remember you fondly, and they'll remember everything that you did for them. Kids can be unpredictable, to say the least. And it makes for a lot, and I'm sure all the coaches, especially the ones my age and whatever, they've done a lot of crazy things. And it's kind of what makes it worthwhile, but it makes for some unforgettable moments also. And when I coached the golf team, one of the matches that we had, we were at Shellridge, and we were walking behind Shellridge to the bus. All the kids were there, and I yell out, "You can leave your clubs here. We have a match here tomorrow." And then I take a couple steps, and I'm thinking, and I yell out, "That's for the Royhart kids, not the Wilson kids." And Ray Groff, who was Wilson's coach at the time, I hear him laughing. I turn around and he's behind me and he's laughing, and he looks at me and he goes, "You have to be in education to appreciate that." And you do, because that's the kind of stuff that happens, because I think we all know if I didn't say that, Ray'd probably be driving back to Shellridge the next day to pick up a couple sets of golf clubs. So those are the things that happen. When it comes to basketball, I actually thought my first day of coaching was going to be my last. I had set up a preseason meeting. Nobody showed up. Basketball wasn't very a priority at Royhart at the time. It struggled a lot, and it wasn't taken very seriously. And they had a great wrestling team, great swimming teams, but basketball just wasn't there. And it was my goal to turn that around. So I got to get the paperwork and get organized and everything without having a meeting. And I kind of told the kids, "Hey, make sure you're on time for practice." And I think they knew what I meant. So they show up. I line them up on the baseline, and I kind of, gave them a few words about, dedication and teamwork and responsibility and all the stuff you can probably imagine I was saying. And then, of course, let's run some lines, So we run lines, and we get done. A few more words for them, run lines. So after about 4 or 5 set of lines, well, it turns out one of the kids that came out was the principal's son. And about 4 or 5 sets of lines, he looks at me and he goes, "This is BS," and he storms out of the gym. So, okay, we finish up practice. I go home and I'm like, okay, I lasted 1 day as Royhart's basketball coach. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I went into work, and principal didn't say anything. 27 years later, there it was. So. But the funny thing was, the principal's other son, younger son, his name was Mike. He had played for me also. He came out, good athlete. And a funny thing I remember about Mike is he decided at the end of the basketball season to make a video of himself, old VHS video of himself, all these basketball skills that he wanted to send to some coaches. Well, one of the things he did was he kind of set the camera up. He jumped off a chair and dunked it. And it looked pretty good. It looked realistic. And so the next day he comes in and he brings me the video and he says, "Watch this, coach." I said, "Oh, Mike, that's great. That's great." I said, "Can I ask you a question?" He says, "Yeah." And I said, are you going to send it out? And he said, "Yeah, I'll probably send it out to some coaches." I said, "Well, what are you going to do if they ask you to dunk?" Because Mike couldn't dunk. And he looks at me with this goofy look, kind of like Rob did when he played for me. And he says, I never thought of that. And I said, well, but Mike went on, I think actually he played football at St. John Fisher for a bunch of years, for all his college career, and ended up doing a good job. But it was a lot of fun. So I tease Rob a little bit once in a while when we get together, but Rob did a great job. As he said, he played for me, and I'm very proud of him, very proud of his accomplishments. He was our point guard, and he was a leader of probably the first good team I had at Roy Hart. It was my 4th year of coaching, trying to build the program, so on and so forth. And 4th year, things kind of came together, and Rob's team did great. And like I said, Rob was a point guard, team leader. We won a couple of sectional games, ended up losing in the semifinals to JFK, but it was a great year. It was a fantastic year, and Rob was an integral part of that. But sometimes if you don't win a championship, you lose your last game, essentially. And we lost our last game, but I think sometimes we focus too much on that last loss. You got to look at the season as a whole. And that was a great year, and I still think about it all these years later. I don't know how many years it's been, around 30 or something like that. But that was a great year, and it was a lot of fun. And when you're looking back, don't look at that last loss. Look at all the great things and all the fun you had with the team and with the kids and all that stuff. So that's what it's all about. It's all about, what we did with the kids, the stories, and the memories and things like that. We've all had frustrations in our coaching career, but don't let that get to you. When you look back, I don't look at anything that frustrated me. I look back at all the great things that happened and working with the kids and all that stuff, because that's what it's all about. So, in concluding, I would like to say thank you to a lot of people that influenced me, and maybe I influenced a little bit, and so on and so forth throughout all the wonderful years I had in the NO League and coaching. Sometimes life takes some twists and turns, and things happen, and so on and so forth. And it turned out that I don't have a family, but instead I met a lot of great people, and they all came out to support me today. And most of them are right there, and I love you guys, and thank you very much for coming out. I want to thank the Roy Hart faculty, staff, administration, and the basketball coaches I work with. Thank you very much. You guys all did a great job. I loved my years at Roy Hart. It was fantastic. Thank you. The ADs. The present ADs, thank you very much for choosing me or voting me or whatever happened for me to receive this award. Greatly appreciated. You guys do a great job. Keep it up. And the past ADs, when I was athletic director for 8 years, and there's some of the guys are here now, and we had some characters in that room back then. It was a lot of fun. Great people. Enjoyed it. It was hard work, but it was a lot of fun. And the last set of people I want to thank are the players, the kids. I mean, that's what this is all about. It's all about them. And, all the kids I had the privilege of coaching, Rob, and like you said, the hundreds or thousands of them that have gone through. And I had the privilege of coaching them. And yes, coaching is a privilege. It definitely is. And I want to thank all of them for putting up with me. So as I said many times, it's about the kids. This is what it's all about. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.